Good people. What's going on? Good morning. Sunday morning, chilling. Want to revisit something I had posted recently about Cam and Mace on $1 million worth of game, and Cam made an interesting comment about Big L. And now people know that I tweeted about 2 years ago that Big L was a Harlem. I felt like he was a Harlem legend, but not a hip hop legend because the guy died too early. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no diss on him. I just said, hey man, the dude died early after his debut album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was working on his second album. I don't even know if that's gonna call it the big picture, but I mean, I don't know. Big L, the only one would have known that. Maybe some people close to him, but after Lifestyle of the Poor and Dangerous in 1995, which I had the album, I posted a picture of me holding the album. I still have it downstairs in my basement with all my other CDs. I was in college in 1995, and I was a big L fan because I like DITC. You know what I'm saying? I used to rock with OC, and also, you know what I'm saying. And at some point, he ended up being on tour with OC doing the Jewels tour in Europe. OC talked about that before. Anyway, obviously, the dude was supremely skilled. Started up on the Lord Finesse, and groomed by Finesse, and you could tell that he studied probably Finesse style, G Rap, and a few others at that time. Even maybe even some Kane. You know what I'm saying? L had multiple flows, dope voice. He had all that. You know what I'm saying? And Nas went on record saying, "Man, if there's anybody that scared me, it was Big L." You know, when Big L went up to the Belly recording, I think Puff and them was up there. They're like, "Oh, that's Big L." You know, so he got love from cats in New York, and he got good love from underground cats. Throughout the country, or maybe even in Europe, because everyone knows that over in Europe they love underground hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But all I was saying was he didn't have a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward a few weeks ago, they asking Cam and Mace about different rappers on the show. They asked about Pac and DMX, and I did a episode about Pac and DMX, and also did a tweet about comparing his Dark and Hell is Hot to Machiavelli, and his Dark as Hell is Hot to Me Against the World. But nevertheless, during that conversation, they asked about all the greatest MCs from Harlem. And my only problem with Cam is, Cam also on IG over the years will post Big L rapping like, yeah, that's Big Bro, and all that stuff. So it kind of felt like to a degree he kind of doubled back a little bit, not trying to play L, but he didn't. You start naming Harlem MCs, you got all the way down like 8, 9 people, and then I think Wallow might have said, "Well, Big L." He said, "Yeah, of course, Big L. That's my bro, or whatever." But L should have been one of the first one you named, man, because you did go through a stretch where you were naming, showing video of Big L on your IG, and you was really, really praising him more. But you did say something interesting that I didn't expect you to say, and you was like, "Man, L didn't have the time, like I've always said." Then you said, Cam said, a lot of people start calling him legend, all this stuff like that. But L just wasn't around a long time, and I think that came with the internet and this. He said all these things that I said a few years ago, and people try to take my head off on Twitter like I was hating on Big L, and I said, man, I love Big L. You know what I'm saying? But when I consider someone a hip hop legend, it's not just because they died early. And then people say, well, Biggie and Pac died early. I said Pac had 200 songs probably. He had like 6 albums or whatever, how many albums, movies. He was the biggest rapper in the world in 1996 when he died in the world. You know what I'm saying? And Biggie helped carry the most popular label on the East Coast at one point, Bad Boy. Biggie had massive success, over 4 million sold, were ready to die. Biggie, because of Puff, was on all these R&B songs that ended up being in the clubs all over the world all through 1995. He was the biggest rapper in 1995 probably, because Snoop was the biggest rapper before him. So you're talking about two people at one point, the biggest rappers in the world. They died tragically. You know what I'm saying? So yes, they had legendary status. L might have been a Harlem legend, but on the grand scale of hip hop, you're talking about maybe a gold album with his debut album. Most underground heads loved it. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, before the internet really blew up, people weren't talking about Big L like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people liked him who was his fans, but they didn't talk about him like that. And that's not a diss. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one of the earliest boards on the internet was OK Player. It was ran by the Roots. Matter of fact, that's kind of how Little Brother ended up getting some love and started blowing up from here in North Carolina because Questlove really liked Ninth Wonder and he liked Fontaine Pooh. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can also check out that Made a Laura Watch Big Little Brother documentary, and Questlove was on there. Nevertheless, OK Player was one of the first websites that had a board where people were talking and discussing hip hop. These are hip hop nerds, hip hop heads. Now they talked about Big L, somebody, but we talked about everybody on OK Player. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, by the time not Black Planet, sorry, MySpace and some of these joints start happening, they weren't talking about Big L like that unless it was some kind of little hip hop forum where hip hop nerds were on. Even when the internet really started blowing up with YouTube and then Twitter started blowing up, people weren't talking about Big L like that. You know what I'm saying? At some point, the legend really did grow. You know what I'm saying? When Cameron said this, kind of like some people was like, well, Cameron is hating. Cameron always talked about he loved Big L. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't hate. It's just like just because somebody's your favorite rapper don't make them a legend. Everybody is not. If we're gonna use legend and classic for everything, and I did one of those spaces, and I did an episode on what is a hip hop classic. Well, what is a hip hop legend? You know what I'm saying? Because this morning somebody hit me like, well, Pop Smoke died early. Why can't young people think he a legend? I said, well, I never called Big L a legend, so I'm definitely not calling Pop Smoke a legend. And I said, but I did do a flowers post for Pop Smoke and said, look, this guy had the gift, the talent, the swag to be the next big star out of New York. Then they say about the XX kid, Extortion, I believe, and then they talked about uh, some of the other guys who like died early or tragically and stuff like that. You want to call them legends before they built the resume. Legends come with a resume. Big and Pac had a huge resume. Again, I'm gonna go back to Big. People say, "Well, Big only had 2 albums. Why is he considered a legend?" No, 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 no. Big had like 5. All right, sorry about that. I have technical difficulties here. Um, but nevertheless, uh, the resumes count. Biggie had, like I said, I think I lost some connection. About 5 albums worth of writing. He wrote Junior Mafia album. You got Ready to Die. You got Life After Death, disc one and disc two. You have all of the joints he wrote for other people. You had all the R&B joints and classic verses and features and stuff like that. Again, you can go look at before Tupac died. He had Tupac Now, Strictly for My Niggas, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, and Machiavelli. He had several movies and everything. You can't compare Biggie and Pop to Big L and Pop Smoke and some of the other young guys that might have died early. You know what I'm saying? Again, Big L legend really did grow a lot over the internet. You know what I'm saying? I got into these debates. This guy talking about man, Big L was international, bro. He's an international star. How's he not a legend? No, no, no. He was a hype man for OC on the Jewels tour. He toured some, I think maybe with some other underground cats in Europe some before he passed away. That don't make you a legend, but people still think that if you don't call someone a legend, that you're dissing them. You know what I'm saying? And that is absolutely, positively not the case. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just throw that term around. So Cameron got some hate with that, and then Mace talked about what inspired him doing Harlem World was he's like, man, Big L put everybody on his album except me. You know what I'm saying? So I think Mace might have felt a certain kind of way because I think he was not talking on the skit, but he didn't get a verse on Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where that was. But yeah, man, that tweet I did, it had everybody hit me, because people kept retweeting and retweeting it like I'm hating. I even think Buck Wild came into the comment. I showed him some love. Like, look, man, it's not hate. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just not the way we look at it. Shout out to Buck Wild. I did a flowers post for Buck Wild years ago. I'm a big fan. You know what I'm saying? I think Buck Wild is doing whose albums he exclusively producing coming up. I think he's doing some other album. AZ album, I think Buck Wild is doing. But yeah, shout out to AZ, shout out to Buck Wild. But yeah, that wasn't a diss. And I also said when Lifestyles came out, some people said it was the production that was kind of lacking compared to the production of the other great 1995 albums. You had Only Built for Cuba Links. You know what I'm saying? You had Mobb Deep, the Infamous. You had Jizzle, Liquid Swords. And I'm sorry, people, nobody was talking about Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous the same way they was talking about Cuba Link's Infamous, Liquid Swords, and some of those big 1995 albums. That just didn't happen that way. You know what I'm saying? I know you told me I was like 20 years old. No, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? That's no knock again. There's a lot of dope underground albums that didn't get the love like that, man. So it wasn't a diss, man. I'm a huge Big L fan, man. I thought they was gonna do a documentary on him. I don't know if it ever came out. I've seen little fake documentaries on YouTube. But man, shout out to him, man. Rest in peace to Big L. None of that was a diss, man. I want to say that again. Fans can be honest about things also. It doesn't have to be hyperbole, it doesn't have to be over exaggerated and things of that nature. They even had I did a little poll and they had big, and I had Lifestyle Support and Dangerous, Mace Harlem World, Black Rob Life Story, and Cam Come Home with me, and Big L's album Warm in a Landslide. I think that's being intellectually dishonest. Even though it's a dope album, somebody or big L fan might like it more or think he can rap better. Some people in the comments section say, no, he can rap better than them. It wasn't about this, it was about the album. So if you're gonna tell me Lifestyle Support and Dangerous is a better album than Black Rob Life Story, it's a better album than Cameron Come Home with Me. I didn't love Mace Harlem World, but it was a massive album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I just think sometimes people, it's a cool thing to say that Big L is a legend. It's a cool thing to say that this person got a classic album or this person influenced all these people because it puts you in that hip hop thing that, and stuff like that. I just think it can be over the top, man. But nevertheless, man, rest in peace to Big L, man. Love the guy's skills, man. Wish he would have been here longer to actually become a hip hop legend, man. Peace.